And we're live. What's going on, team? Hope you guys are all doing okay. You guys know the drill. Just give me a minute or two here to get the link around, and we'll be good to go. Now let's see here. Where is the link to invite? I don't want to invite guests. Oh, we're going to get a YouTuber in here. What's up, Zoid? Let's see. Bassel brother, where's the StreamYard link to invite people? Sorry, I'm kind of a noob on this new platform. But the YouTube guys will join us. Now let's see. Can I do music? I don't have my headphones here, so I don't know if I can do music today. It just gives me end stream. Do I click on maybe the individual link? I bet you I can view on YouTube. Oh, there you go. You already got it for me. Let's go. Okay, it's showing it on the stream. It won't let me even just copy. It won't let me just copy it, bruh. That's all right. We're testing. I can view it myself on YouTube. On YouTube. Ooh, is that really what I sound like? I can't wait to have a new streaming room. The echo in this room is just unbelievable. Alrighty, I think that is a successful stream launch on the laptop. I'm signed out of TradingView. Bruh, ain't no way. Alright, I'm gonna have to finagle and log into TradingView here real quick. Give me 1 second. I don't know why it logged me out of TradingView. You guys can hear me okay though? What's up, Walter White? We got like 30 links to the YouTube video. What's up, Tommy? Sam? What's good, guys? StreamYard, let's go. What's up, Julius? Shiv, what's up, guys? Carlos, Dylan? All right, I just gotta log into TradingView here. Because apparently my laptop just wanted to sign me out of everything, even though I used TradingView 20 minutes ago. Working on Twitch too? Nice. Oh my gosh, it didn't copy the password. I had to relog in. Bear with me, fellas. Bear with me. You know we're nothing without our power of TradingView. Nothing. All right. Please don't make me do some 2FA shit. Yes. We're live, baby. All right, let's go. We're going to go fresh, top down, as if we've never looked at this chart before. All right, before I get into it though, go. Last check, guys. Audio is good. No lag. No one skipping around. What's up, Arthur? Veslin, Suli, good morning, guys. I'm assuming everything is working great. Okay, only difference between this and most streams is I'm stuck on one monitor as opposed to my amazing 2-monitor setup I usually use. So I can't have your guys' comments up while I'm also using the chart. So I might get a little bit behind on the comments, but I'm going to try and tap back and forth as efficiently as I can. But yeah, you guys know the drill. We're going to do a top down on Bitcoin. Maybe look at Ethereum, although it's kind of garbage, so maybe we won't. I'm not sure yet. We're going to go through all of the shit coins that I'm in. We'll definitely look at GUISE. That's one of them for sure. What's up, Calvin? We'll talk about ATOR. Yep, that'll probably be the first altcoin we talk about. I tend to go in order of my biggest size to my smallest size. 42K next. I know, dude. Look at this monthly chart. It's actually up only. And did you guys see the new Capo post today? Here's what he posted. It's something like this. He's unironically posting this. This is his analysis. He goes A, B, C. Look, guys, it's Elliott wave. Ready? A, B, C. Inside of a bigger, it's an ABC inside of an ABC. Elliott wave, guys. He's got like 500K followers, and they really believe that we're going to $12,000 Bitcoin. The cope is unreal. We're gonna hit $100,000 in the next year or two, and he's still gonna be drawing like ABC. Oh gosh, dude. Unbelievable. Like if he posted this, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. But just not this. Not this. This. Straight down to 12K. Guy's out of his mind. Unbelievable. Anyways, that's who we're trading against, fellas. Remember that. That is who we're trading against. All right, so I would like to preface, I have been up 20-something hours. So we're going to try and keep this in a timely manner as we go. Sorry if I slur my speech a little bit, but I'm not inebriated. I'm just dirt tired. So that's a early stage bull market for you, you know? All right. So what we got going on here? We got some really good stuff. I mean, the monthly chart looks absolutely amazing. Like, just absolutely amazing. I mean, you could not really hope for much more. So just looking at our moving averages, they're all coming up. Price is trending above them. And this 8 EMA specifically is rising now. Previously, it was coming up, you know, but when it starts to flatline here, kind of like it did at the top of the last bull market, there's no real sense of direction, right? So there's just a lot of uncertainty, and that tends to have price kind of doing this, right? And that's what was happening in here. But now this teal 8 EMA is coming straight up. All right, we're in a strong uptrend. Any dips back towards this 8 EMA, it's likely going to pay to be a buyer at and around this area. Okay, and for those of you guys that aren't, you know, super familiar with my model, when it comes to EMAs, we are not super point specific, right? Like right now, let me move this. We can look up here, right? And you can see this 8 EMA is teal. So this number right here will represent that. So right now it's at 32,678, okay, on the monthly. So that doesn't mean if we go to, you know, 32,100 that it's bearish, okay? Especially if it's not a closing basis, right? If we just go down to 30K, you know, at some point this month or next month or whatever, it's likely still going to be a good dip to buy, Okay, as long as we can continue to make higher lows above our last pivot, which was down at 25K, this is likely going to be a good dip to buy whenever it comes, whether it's from here, whether it's from higher up. Any dips back to this 8 EMA are likely going to be a pretty good dip. You can see last time we dipped and we held perfectly, and then we retested that level and we held again. So that could be the same strat this time. Maybe we dump to the 8 EMA, bounce back up, retest those lows, and then continue. Anyways, that's going to be our key support on the downside. Another couple levels. I mean, obviously, this level is big. Any kind of monthly close below this is likely going to signify the death of our uptrend. Okay, we do not want to break that. If we break that, maybe Capo's right. Maybe we're going to new lows. But as long as we can stay closing above 25K on the monthly, we're in a long-term uptrend again. And then above that, we have the 8 EMA right around here as kind of our midterm support. We also have this old range high, probably best identified as like a little range here. Something like that. And I tend to go from the highest point down to the highest close. I'm a little bit off here, but you get the picture. And then the last level would be the 61.8 fib from wherever we top out at. If we top out, right here, then the 61.8 is at 30.7K. If we go to 50K first and then top out, the 61.8 is at 34.5. So, if we start to dip, whether you want to buy at the monthly 8 EMA or the old, SR flip or the 61.8 flip, whatever you want to be buyer at, here's the big picture, right? There's a good chance these dips are going to be for buying, right? People that are shorting these new highs, it's not a great play. Okay. You start to crack at least this near-term downtrend and you want to short. I get that. But I genuinely think the better trade is just to buy the dips, right? Back here, when you lose the monthly 8 EMA and you retest it and fail, yeah, then it makes sense to be shorting the rips. But right now, we're trending above it. So, even if we get below it and we reclaim it, it's a dip to buy. Okay. Don't overthink it, right? And you don't have to chase these new highs either, right? If you've been with us for a while and you were positioning yourself into some different assets back in the middle of this year, you're likely not feeling like you need to chase these highs, right? Ideally, a lot of us have a reasonable amount of exposure to where we're making good enough money now that we don't feel like, damn, I really just got to ape right now because I have no exposure. And that's why I was always saying back here, sure, it could go lower. I would not have been surprised, but you'd never catch me all in or all out, right? Because if you're all in and you get puked on, you're going to freak out and you're going to sell all your stuff at the lows. Likewise, if you're just sitting in cash, completely in cash, and this happens, you're going to buy right before it tops out. I'm not saying it's going to top out right here necessarily, but that's the idea, right? If you're all in one way or the other, you're just asking for trouble. It's never a good strategy. Sure, right? If you're all in here and it goes up, you're going to make the most money you could make. If you're all cash here and it goes down, you're going to lose the least amount of money you could lose. But that's not really the goal, right? If this is the best trader and this is the worst, it's okay to just be, anywhere above half, right? Somewhere in here is a good spot to be. And the same thing goes with the big moves. You don't got to be buying here and selling up here, right? If you can just catch this, you can make a ton of money, right? Without giving back too much. Everyone following along here? What's up, Shiva? Oh, we got Augustin in the chat too. Fabrizio. How can we ask you guys to examine projects we find? You're welcome to post about them here. And if we have time after I go through the projects I'm already in, then I'm happy to look at them. If not, you can just post about them in the Blockcircle chat. There's all kinds of different channels you can post it in. You're welcome to DM me too. There's a good chance that it might take me a little bit to get back to you, depending on how, how much analysis you're asking. But do you have a Discord where users share analysis? We do. Yes, we do. Let me see if I can get a link. You can actually join our Discord here for $99 a month. And my internet is kind of crapping itself, but there we go. And we've got, what is it, Basil? Like 600, 700 people in there or something? Something like that. We got a ton of people in there. Coming back to streaming every Sunday. Yeah, I missed last Sunday because my, my water cooler stopped working and I caught my CPU running at like 110 degrees Celsius. And I don't know what that converts to Fahrenheit, but it's got to be like 200 plus degrees or something. It was literally melting itself. So I wanted to do it on my laptop, but I didn't know about StreamYard yet. And I didn't have all the stream keys set up and whatnot. So I was hoping I'd be able to fix my PC this weekend, but I haven't been able to. So we got StreamYard going, and now we're just streaming on the laptop. We're going to make it work. Yeah, I remember you, Pretug. Come on, I remember all the 2020 gang. Some of you guys were watching when I had literally like 2 streamers. Sorry for bothering you. Oh my gosh. I wish I was more familiar with StreamYard. I would ban this comment. Vessel, do you know how we can ban comments like this feeble loathing? We don't need no promotion, brother. The promotion is the content. I am the promotion. You watch and you feel promoted. Or something like that. But anyways, yeah, Fabrizio, we got a Discord with a bunch of guys, so we would love to have you. A bunch of great content there. Honestly, it's the place to be. But anyways, we could keep outlining levels on the monthly, but in reality, for me, the only level that matters right now is around 48K, to the upside at least. And then to the downside, 32 to like 33K. That's your support. That's your resistance. And right now we are in the direct center of that. So the edge for trades right now is kind of weak, at least on a higher time frame, right? You know, you're about halfway between your support and your resistance, you know? So I think it still favors longs. You know, if you're just going to shoot your shot one way or the other, it definitely still favors longs, but you know, you're not really having much edge outside of just long-term uptrend. But I will say, you know, we've been going back and forth throughout the middle of this year. Oh, it's, you know, it's kind of neutral. It's neutral to bullish. It's neutral. It's neutral to bearish. Well, it's just bullish now, right? We've got price action on the upside. Our slow stochastic is rising, and our momentum is rising and getting extremely close to crossing the 0 line on the CCI or the RSI, whichever you prefer. And the bulk of the bull market is going to occur when the CCI is trending above the 0 line every single cycle. And that's not just for crypto, guys. That's every financial asset. When the monthly CCI is trending above 0, that's when you're in, you know, bull market, if you want to call it, really just a strong uptrend, right? A strong, sustainable uptrend when your momentum is above 0 and continually rising. Okay. So all the signs are there on the monthly. Let's go down to the weekly and see if it holds up there. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Whew, goodness. I really hope my mic muted there before that, because that was ridiculously loud. So the weekly, however, is starting to show some signs of being overextended. And we're now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks up from the bottom with basically no pullback, and 7 weekly candles in a row with no pullback. So, you know, we might have another 1 to 3 weeks of this at best, but there's going to be a pretty deep dip coming. The big question is, are we going to hit mid 40s, upper 40s before that happens? I would not be surprised whatsoever. But our cycle is getting very overextended. Just keep in mind, there is the rare occasion where this gets extended and then just stays that way for a very long period of time, right? Like you can see back in 2020, the cycle tends to ebb and flow kind of like this, but there's that rare occasion where you get up here and you just stay up here for a while. And you can see right when it started to get overextended here, people will say, oh, it's overbought. It's overbought. It's going to go down. Well, it was overbought at 13K and it didn't come back down until after we hit 60K. So, I don't think we're at the market, the stage of the market cycle where we're going to do a run like this just yet. But just keep that in mind. This is not the end all be all. And by the time you get that full cycle down, it might be too late in the near term anyways. But I do think it means you shouldn't be in a rush to chase this, especially if you're already positioned properly, like I feel like the majority of us are in Blockcircle. Okay, so weekly is also extremely bullish. I would just say err a little bit more on the side of caution, as there's a decent chance at the start of next year, I think we're going to get some sort of pullback. Even if it's just a halfway pullback on the weekly, I think we'll get some sort of reset. But that might not mean something like this. It might mean we go up to 50K and then we come back to where we are right now. So a dip is a dip, right? You don't have to wait for X level. Any kind of good dip is a good dip, all right? And for now, we're doing something that can be very painful for people, right? And here's why. They see this, they're bearish, they don't want to buy. Instead of buying some, for the guys that are all in, all out, all in, all out, they are all out here. Or maybe they're all in and then they're all out. And then they see this and they're waiting. All right, well, this next big dip, I'm going to buy hard now. And they're just waiting. They're just waiting for this next big dip where they're going to buy hard. They're just waiting. They're waiting for 32K. They're still waiting for 32K. Or maybe it's 34 now. And maybe we go to 42 and then it's 36. They're waiting. They're waiting for this big dip. I feel like, and this is going to be different for everyone, depending on their circle, their social circle. But on my social media feeds, there are a lot of people waiting to get positioned. And some people always want to talk, oh, max pain is up, max pain is down, max pain is sideways. Max pain is typically always down, all right? The most amount of people usually are going to get hurt if the market crushes itself. But right now, I genuinely think we're at a point where, maybe max pain is still down, but close to max pain is more upwards accumulation. Because people waiting for a big dip, these little dips are just little enough to not be for them, right? They're just waiting for a little bit deeper, a little bit lower, and they can go in hard. But these little dips, they refuse to. And if that's all you get all the way up, they're just going to be stuck waiting, right? And, I'm slowly, very slowly starting to hear from some of my normie friends. And I don't mean to, what's the word? I don't mean to outcast anyone for being a normie or anything, but, those guys, right? Your old college friends, they haven't talked to you in years, but somehow at every crypto cycle peak, they go, yo, bro, you still doing Bitcoin? I was thinking about buying some Ethereum here at $5,000. Do you think it's a good idea? I'm slowly starting to see those people come out of the woodworks again, very slowly. But it's not like, yo, I just bought a big bag. It's like, bro, is crypto going to be coming back? What do you think? When's the next big dip going to be? And it just slowly keeps going up. Did you miss anything? How's Bitcoin? Bitcoin looks great, dude. It's upwards accumulation. And if you guys are in Blockcircle, you've already seen me make this comparison a bunch of times. And honestly, I'm sure I'm not the only one. There's probably people on Twitter making this comparison, but this upwards accumulation is extremely similar to the same thing we saw back in 2020, right? It's just this upwards little grind where people get chopped to pieces. You know, they're long, they're short, they're long, they're short, they're stopped out, they're stopped out, they're long, they're short. And it just keeps going. Everyone's just waiting for that big dip. Everyone's waiting for that big dip. And here's a big dip, right? And here's the thing, you know, you'll get a big dip like this eventually. I don't know where it'll be, right? Where it'll be like, you know, 10 to 20% in the same couple of days, right? And every hater's, you know, I told you so. There's the big dip, right? The guys that are telling you at 13K, there's going to be a big dip. Well, that big dip came to 16K from 20. And they're still, I told you so. Now watch out for the big crash. You know, they'll be drawing this on the feed. And then we'll just, you know, we'll keep chopping around. It's very reminiscent of this. So I'm waiting for something big like this to happen. And, you know, I don't think history is going to be the exact same. You know, I don't think we're going to paint the exact same price action of before, but it's the same environment, right? It's just this slow chop upwards versus, you know, the entirety of the last couple years, it's been the exact opposite, right? It's just been, I mean, look at it. It's literally this. Oops. Moving too fast for myself. It's literally the inverse of this, right? Down, no bounce, chop, 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 lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and then a big flush. This is what's coming. Now, I don't know how soon it's going to come, you know. ETF approval, maybe that'll be a big catalyst in about a month. Or maybe it'll be a big denial and we'll get a big nuke, and that'll be that big, you know, 15 to 20% dip right here, which doesn't look that bad on log, but when you take off log, I mean, it was a pretty significant dip. You know, this is ETF denial, right? That's what happens if we get denied the ETFs. If we get approved, it's going to do something like this. You know what I mean? Again, reminder for guys that are tuning in a little bit late. I'm on my laptop this time, so I can't have your comments up at the same time as my actual, like, trading browser. So if I get behind or miss it, don't take it personally. I'm just doing the best I can here. And Sam, the CCI is a momentum indicator. It's the commodity channel index. You can find it like that, commodity channel index. And we use a very specific one. If you're in Blockcircle, we have the, where is it? The Blockcircle momentum. So that's the one that we use. But it's very similar to an RSI. It's just a momentum indicator. It's, you know, it's a little different than the normal one, but it's not anything ridiculous, right? It's just tracking momentum, right? And typically we want to be more involved when the momentum is rising and trending above 0, right? There's this 0 line where when momentum is negative and falling, that's strong bearish momentum. When it's rising but negative still below 0, that's a positive bounce, but it's not, you know, full on bull mode. But when it's rising and it's trending above 0, that is like a strong uptrend. Okay. And that's when we want to be most active on the long side. Commodity channel index, guys. Are you not afraid of recession next year ruining all the fun? I don't know. People said that in 2022. You know, a recession's coming, guys. 2023. The macro. Get out of the way, guys. The macro. You know, and they rose interest rates out the ass. But, I mean, look at it. Bitcoin's up from 16K to 40K. And it's not a bunch of new guys, you know? This is happening just from the people that are left over from the last bull market. This is like the remaining 5% of people from the last bull market. And we've pushed it from 15K to 40 on bad news, on rising interest rates, on the housing market's going to crash. The banking system's going to crash, guys. Recession. Everyone's screaming it. Every big macro analyst is going crazy about it. It's coming, guys. Just you wait. I'm waiting. We're making a ton of money. Like, so yeah, maybe it comes. Maybe it ruins the party. But that's why we always be taking profits. ABTP. Always be taking profits. It's a great way to counter trade yourself. You know, you think you're going to keep ripping in 2024. You recognize maybe there's a risk of a recession. So you take profits on the way up, right? You know, I took out, I took some profits out a week or two ago, but, you know, about 3 months ago, I took out profits equal to my entire portfolio at the start of this year. So, or actually, I think it was twice as much. So, you know, if we go on full bull mode, the money I took out a few months ago probably would be worth 30 times as much in the next year or two. So I might miss out on that chunk at least. But if I'm wrong and we hit a recession, I cashed out double my portfolio this year, you know? So I can kind of cushion myself if what I have left starts to go down, right? So I'm not as greedy as the most greedy guy, and I'm not as, you know, lacking in greed as the guy that's all in fiat right now because he's scared of a recession. I won't make as much as some people. I won't lose as much as some others. But I'm happy with that, right? I'm happy being in the middle. I've taken some profits. I've still got plenty of exposure. If a recession hits, oh well, that's the risk. You know, I want to make big money. I'm willing to put on big risk. And the risk is maybe my thesis is wrong. And that's, you know, if you truly believe in that, you might not want to risk that money on high volatility, high risk assets like cryptocurrencies. But if you believe crypto can power through that or outshine that, or maybe that just won't happen, maybe it'll happen in a year, maybe even 2 years, and we've seen what can happen in a few months in crypto, maybe you're willing to risk some of your money like I am, you know? So no, I'm not really afraid of a recession personally. You know, we'll just trade whatever. If a recession comes and Bitcoin hits the crapshoot and we get below here, I'll just cut a lot of my risk and reevaluate. And that's, you know, that's part of the game, right? You know, that's why I'm not risking, you know, my mortgage money or like, you know, any kind of loan money, right? I'm not risking the bills. I've got cash in the bank. I'm not taking on more debt. I'm not borrowing from exchanges, right? I'm just playing with money I can afford to lose, and I'm willing to risk to make a lot of money, you know? Simple as that. You'd given a small shout out to Block Games on a public stream. I remember you bought the dice, dude? Nice. That's awesome, Shiva. Man, I didn't even do that. I totally middle curved that, dude. I gotta stop sleeping on some of these NFTs. But that's awesome, dude. Most of my timeline are like, give a dip to buy alts. Exactly, dude. That's exactly what I'm saying. But see, you know, when you say that, everyone's timeline is different. Some people come at me like, bro, my whole timeline's all in. I'm like, well, all right, well, 7 billion people on Earth, your timeline of 300, does that matter? Does my timeline of 1,000, does that matter either? You know, we're all in our own little bubbles. So the timeline, I don't feel like it really means anything for anyone, but I do in general seem to see more people. I do see people on my feed that are, you know, very heavily invested, but I see a lot more that are like, they're just waiting to hammer the dip, you know, but then the dip happens and they freak the fuck out. Pardon my language, but that's exactly what happens. Anyways, Hunter, we are approaching Christmas, always has a negative chart impact. What do you think? That's a good question. The weekly would indicate that we're going to crap out at some point here. But it didn't really happen in 2021. It happened after New Year's. So I don't know. Will we crap out around Christmas, before Christmas, into the new year? I think we don't crap out until sometime next year, personally. You know, I wouldn't put all your chips in one basket or anything, but I think this little uptrend above, you know, 35, 36K, I think this little trend here is going to continue into the new year. and then maybe we crap out sometime in January, February. That's kind of my personal opinion, but I think it's also going to depend on, ETF comes like, potentially ETF comes like 3 to 10 days after New Year's or something, right? I'm pretty sure the deadline is in the start of January. So if it's starting to be a lot of signs that that's going to be approved or denied, Christmas time is going to be 2 weeks before that. That could be a really volatile time period. It could be very good, could be very bad. It's just hard to say. That's why I'm not. It's January 10th. Yeah, deadline is January 10th. So 2 weeks after Christmas, right? So it just depends, if there's going to be leaks or there's going to be news about it. I don't really know. I'm not really focused on that near-term stuff, though. I'm not trading leverage. I'm comfortable having some drawdown on my spot positions, as I have been all year. So if that happens, it's fine by me. I'm not really stressing about that. If we go up, that's great. If we go down, that's fine. It's healthy for the long-term trend. If we go sideways, that's fine by me too. And I've preached this all year long. I just really like being in a position where wherever we go, I'm kind of set up to be okay. Obviously, down is the worst. I'm going to lose money on open positions. It is what it is. But it's kind of part of the plan, right? Like when you see this part of the move, this part's coming sooner or later. Whether you go here first and then here, like it's inevitably coming. Especially after 7, 8, 9 weeks in a row up. So I expect it. I'm never gonna wake up and piss myself. So I could totally see that. Yeah. Any favorite plays you're looking to get into or add? Again, if I was on my PC, I have like 40 tabs up of all my open positions. I don't have them all up here. Let me think. DexTF. DexTF is definitely one of them. Also, guys, I'm on Wi-Fi. I haven't been on Wi-Fi in years, so my internet is just horrible. But yeah, Damani Protocol, whatever that is. I don't know how you pronounce it exactly, but I feel very good about this one. This is one of my main real-world asset kind of exposure coins. And it's been on a pretty good dip lately from 34 cents down to 22. So really nice dip. And the long term for this still looks crazy. All-time high is well over $3 and we're sitting under 30 cents. So you're over 10x to all-time high. And even just to the local high from 2021, that was $1 something. Right around $1. So you're basically 300% to the 2021 local high and like 1100% to the all-time high. Pretty good risk reward. And I think these guys have connections to BBANK, which has hundreds of billions of dollars on their spreadsheet. So, that's enough for me to be happily involved there. That's a good one. Yeah, AEGIS. AEGIS is probably my favorite AI-related play right now. And honestly, up until a month or two ago, I did not have that much AI exposure. And AEGIS is definitely one of my favorites right now. And kind of a funny story, too, because someone who will go unnamed here, but he's here and he knows who he is, shared AEGIS with me at the Pico bottom. Let's just pull up the chart for shits and giggles. And the chart looks great. The chart's on a good dip. This is the beautiful setup I like to see, right? Retesting the old highs, a nice bullish engulfing forming here, a run of the lows, probably a 50% retrace on the fibs. Yep, right into the 50% retrace. Just a beautiful setup. So that's definitely a decent one to average down on. But anyways, my boy was sharing this with me somewhere in here, dirt cheap, like half a penny. We've gone to 20 cents. So like a 40x. Maybe higher than that. Maybe it was 50x. I can't even remember. It was super cheap. And I was just like, Nah. Partially because I just have been really fond of most of my positions the last like 3 or 4 months. I mean, like last cycle was different, you know, most of it was just garbage. So at any given time, it was pretty easy to just cut something for something else. But lately, I've just really liked most narratives for the stuff I own. So it's really hard. Like I'm not married, you know, if the whole market starts to shit the fan and, you know, we go into an actual recession, I'm happy to cut risk. But as long as the long-term trend still tends to be intact, it's been really hard for me to cut bags I like, as long as they're still in a decent uptrend. So, you know, it's like if I want to buy something else, and all I've got as far as stables go is a small stack of emergency stables that I refuse to buy any new coins with. It's only if we get like a mega nuke. You know, if we wake up tomorrow and Bitcoin's at like 32K or 30K, I'll use the last of my stables. And then my cash I have in my bank that at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to send to crypto. You know, on the way down, I had planned to send some more money from the bank to crypto, but given how much my account has grown this year, I don't really feel, you know, it's like 30 something percent of my net worth now. That's more than enough for me. I don't feel the need to add any more. So I pretty much just have a little bit of stables that I can buy on the dip. But outside of that, if I want to buy a new project, I have to sell something that I own. And so when he told me about it back here, you know, it wasn't anything against the project. I really didn't want to sell something else. And every step of the way, he's telling me, bro, you got to get in this. You got to get in this. And I'm like, well, now I'm definitely not. I'm not going to buy your 5X. I'm not going to buy your 10X. I'm not going to buy your 20. Okay, I'll buy your 30X. And so I finally got in on this one at like 10 to 12 cents or something like that. And I think it's actually a really stellar project. But it always hurts to buy someone's 20X. It hurts extra bad when they told you about it at the bottom and you middle curved it. But regardless, I do still think it's very undervalued. I think this is likely to go $100 million plus. So had to go on a little rant there, but that's one of my favorites. Aegis up there with Dex TF. Do I prefer Domino or BBANK? That's a hard call. You know, I'm not up that much on Domino. You know, I'm only up maybe like a 2x at best. Versus BBANK, it's a little bit harder to like think about adding more when Blockcircle is in from, you know, all the way back here. Right? You know, like we're already rocking, some of us are rocking like a 20x at this point. So do I like it more? Not necessarily, but I think DexTF has better connections. I don't think BlockBank has the same level of connections that DexTF has. But I'm not super close with either team, so it's hard for me to really say that. You know, I will say both charts look beautiful. Both charts have all-time highs that are very far away and near-term price action that is very strong. You know, the last few months look very good for both of these coins. A 10x for DexTF, a 20x for BlockBank. You know, I'm not the kind of guy to go, you know, someone asks me, if I could only be in one, which one you'd be in? Bro, no. I would be in both because I don't know which one's going to go harder. And that's literally the situation. You know, I'm in BlockBank, I'm in DexTF. I will say I'm much heavier in BlockBank, but I'm also up a lot more. So naturally, you know, my original size is probably higher on DexTF than it was on BlockBank. But my BlockBank bag is also free now. I TP'd 10% on the 10x, so it's a free low bag. Versus DexTF, I haven't TP'd any. So, hard call. Main investment. Sorry, I missed your comment, by the way, Carlos. And Shiva, there's other plays, you know, other favorite plays I have, but, you know, I don't have time to go into every one of them. You got to join Blockcircle, my guy, if you want to read about them. But Carlos said, my main investment right now is RUNE. I bought the most at 0.8, took profit at 1x, 4x. What do you think about RUNE? So I will say I do quite like RUNE, the coin and the tech itself. Now I'm not familiar whatsoever with their ecosystem. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if there's other coins or stuff on. I don't know how it works. So I have absolutely no input with that. But I will say it's got this, like kind of broadening wedge or something going on long term that it just broke out from. I mean, this is a beautiful chart, right? No matter how you structure it, if you want to use the extremities, then you still got a little ways to go. But regardless, this chart looks beautiful. I do think, probably coming into this, whatever this is, this $13, $12 area, probably a good chance it's going to see a pretty hefty retrace. Wherever it came from last on the daily, back down here, let's say you go up to like 12 bucks. I think there's a good chance you're going to see back here at like, 5 to 6 bucks. Just personal opinion, but it's one of the strongest trends of this entire year as far as centralized exchange coins go. 80, hold on. Bought the most at 0.8. I mean, that is the bottom, my boy. If you really bought down there, you are a Chad amongst Chads. I mean, and then you de-risked at $1.60. Beautiful. De-risk some more on the way up. You're just, you're playing it kind of perfectly, honestly. But, how many centralized exchange coins are up almost 10x on the year? RUNE, Caspa, Injective, like, some of the strongest coins in the market, and RUNE's right up there with them. So I think the tech is very good. I don't have any familiarity with the ecosystem, so I'm afraid I can't input anything there. And same pre-hug with Solana. I have zero input on Solana. It's going to be my AVAX from 2021 of this cycle. I just don't have I don't know if it's the desire, the drive, or whatever. I just got so many narratives I'm focused on. I just don't have the will to focus on Solana. I just don't think it's anything special. People be like, yo, I banged out a 3x on a Solana shitcoin. It's like, okay, POG. Like, that's cool. But it would just take so much effort to really get in tune with their whole ecosystem. What's the big plays? Like, if anything, I would just focus on the main DEX there. I think it's Jupiter. And then, maybe the main meme coin. And maybe if they do some kind of lending protocol there, maybe that's worthwhile, or some kind of Unibot thing. I'm not super in tune with it. It's not my strong suit, right? But we got people in Blockcircle that I do think spend time there. I'm just not one of them. Blockcircle is the biggest alpha Discord. I love seeing people say that because it used to be for a while. And this is no shot to anyone that was in Blockcircle for a while, but it used to feel like, I was a good majority of the alpha. Like, there was definitely, a good number of people, 10, 20 people that were also providing good alpha and information. But now I'm like a very small piece. I mean, maybe not to some people, but I feel like a pretty small piece of Blockcircle's, quote, alpha now. I'll wake up, go in there, and someone's banged out a 10x overnight. I'm like, okay, like that wasn't happening a couple years ago. And then I wake up 2 days later, and someone's DMing me, yo, we just banged out a 25x on this pre-sale in Blockcircle. Did you get in? I'm like, no, I didn't even hear about that. Like, I missed a message. And it's just so many messages. The boys are banging 20x's without me. I'm buying their 20x's now, and it feels great, honestly. I mean, it's very heartwarming. But it does feel like we have some of the best and smartest degens in the market. And, we still take L's. Like, we all still take L's. Like, no one's perfect in here. But I do believe the majority of us are heavily long-term profitable. Like, it does feel like, and for the most part, everyone feels really accountable, too. Like, there's not bad blood. There's a couple of tiffs every now and then. But, like, most people are just kind of, they get it. Like, if they risk too much, they understand that's the risk, right? You might make a lot more, you might lose a lot more. That's the risk, right? If you go ape some shitcoin 3 minutes after launch, you might make bank, you might get rugged. That's the risk. Everyone seems accountable too. So I just feel like we got Chads, we got really smart people, we got accountable people. It's just everything I wanted it to be. And I feel like it's kind of at the same time just getting started. It's extremely fulfilling, and Oh, I love every minute of it, guys. You guys, the community really makes it what it is. When do you feel a renewed hunger to buy new projects? Or does it just depend on reaching goals on current? Likewise, is there a point in the cycle where you cut bags that are sleepy, still ranging at lows? That's a great question. So I wouldn't say I have a lack of hunger to buy new projects right now, but as I get a lot of exposure to the narratives I'm focused on, like privacy and GambleFi, casinos, and real world assets and AI and GameFi, et cetera, right? When I've got 1, 2, or 3 different investments in each of these, I'm not going to go add another GameFi bag, right? I'm not going to add a 5th privacy project investment. It just becomes too much overlap, for me at least. Like, I don't feel the need, it's kind of almost diluting my privacy narrative to have so many different privacy bets, unless it really, sparks something in me, right? Like, if I think something's really good, I'm going to get in regardless of anything. But, at this point, I really like most of my bags. I've got a ton of bags, but the bottom, dozen bags are like 10% of my account or like 8% of my account. The majority of my portfolio is like 5 to 10 bags, and I really like all of them. So if I'm going to enter something on size, something new, I have to sell a chunk of one of my big bags. And so that means I have to like this new project more than something I already hold that I think is going to go a lot higher, that I'm very confident in. So I still am hungry to buy something new, but it's got to really impress me more than something I already own, right? That's it. I've got to see clear upside that outpaces my vision for what I already own. And sometimes I'm wrong, like with AEGIS at the lows. I'm like, I'd rather hold XYZ. And then XYZ goes 2x, AEGIS goes 20x. Sometimes that happens, right? So, sometimes you're going to hit, sometimes you're going to miss. It is what it is. I wouldn't say it just depends on reaching goals. Like, I do have goals for sure. Like, I have dollar value goals in mind. But it's not like I'm going to stop upon reaching that goal, because for me, it's about milking as much as I can from the market. Absolutely as much as I can. I'm not going to go for selling the tops, buying the bottoms. It's not like that. But the market does not know about my goals. It doesn't know about my profits and losses. It doesn't know that I need X amount of money to reach X goal. It just knows it's doing what it's doing, right? So it doesn't quite make sense for me to base my trades and investments solely around my own goals, So if I hit my goals, great. But there's things I'm looking for in the market, not in my own life or portfolio, as far as exiting, like, the pie cycle, or like, I don't know, even just simple, price action, market structure breaking down, or long-term monthly cycle topping out, or, the quarterly cycle, like, or, retail super exuberant, all the normies coming in, it's all over the news again. Like, this is the stuff that starts to want me to get out, even if I haven't reached my goals. But if I reach my goals now, pre-halving, I'm not going to do anything. I'll definitely start, cashing out to make sure my goals are met. But, if I only have to cash out 25% to reach my goals, I'm not going to cash out 75%, right? I'm going to cash out 25%. Now, is there a point in the cycle where I cut bags that are sleepy? For sure. For sure. Like, say Bitcoin, like, here's a good example. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Is this Coinbase? Yeah. Like, quite often, Bitcoin will go on these killer moves like this. where your daily trend is just, and this is where I think we are right now, you know, is somewhere like this, where your daily trend is super strong. The pullbacks are very, very shallow. And at some point in the trend, it's going to turn from just this chop, up, chop to like some heavy sideways and then a break and a lower high. That's the point where I'm going to start cutting whatever I want, you know? And if we go back into an uptrend later on, you know, I'm happy to rebid. But this time, when we roll over after a giga trend, you know, if we just have a short trend like this, I'm not going to cut everything on the first breakdown. But if we have a trend like this that goes on and on for, you know, 3, 5, 6, 8 months, and we break down daily market structure, if my stuff has not run during this or during this, it's probably not going to run. You know, if it doesn't run on a crazy uptrend from Bitcoin or on extended sideways after that, it's probably not going to run. So at that point, yeah, I'd probably just cut it. Any thoughts on IOTA? Hopefully that answers your questions, Bruce. Any thoughts on IOTA? I don't know, man. I don't know anything about it, right? It was hyped for like a week when it came out. You know, it like launched up to $2 and then it just died, and it's, you know, it's just done nothing. And now it's up 2x off the lows. I mean, it's a nice candle. You know, maybe there's some big fundamental narrative going on, but you know, even big picture, you're trading against the big picture downtrend, which is, you know, I'm not against this, but typically, you know, if I have like 10 bags, I don't want more than like 2 of them that are like this. I want the majority of my bags to look like this, and where I'm hitting dips on this. You know, like Blockbank, for example. This is one of my 2. Blockbank and Domini are my only bags I really have that long term are still technically in big picture downtrends, right? Where, you know, in theory, these things could just fizzle out and just stay cheap forever. You know, that's what happens to the majority of these older coins. They just kind of fizzle, you know? So you don't really want to trade something that's like this long term, because you might look at this, you know, you might get a big 10 or 20, whatever this is here, you know, a 10x bounce, but inevitably you're going to push to a lower high. And do you always want to be second guessing a lower high? Or do you really just want to trade something that, you know, looks like this, right? That has a long-term trend. It's just new highs, higher lows. You know, would I rather be in something that looks like this or something that looks like this? So maybe there's some new development, and, you know, there will be projects that can do this, right? Like AAVE from last cycle is always my go-to example, right? A project that's in a long-term downtrend, and it'll reverse hard, and then it'll go to new highs, you know, a bajillion X, right? But at that point, I would rather just wait, you know, miss the low and get in when the downtrend is over, you know, somewhere in here, or even on the sideways accumulation in here. You know, you're going to be buying a lot higher than the actual lows, but at least you can have confidence you're in an uptrend. That's how I feel about stuff like IOTA. You know, like this could just mean revert, you know, over and over and over and over again. I will say, just on the daily, it's a nice trend break. You know, you have your clear sets of lower highs and lower lows. Now you've got higher highs and higher lows. So as long as you can stay above, you know, like 15 to 20 cents, this could be a good bid, you know, to each his own. But for me, I've already got a couple projects that are in long-term downtrends. I'd rather spend my money on stuff that doesn't have a bunch of baggage overhead. You know what I mean? But to each their own. Thanks to Walter, who convinced me to take profit. Nice, dude. Let's go. Walter's always on his game, I swear. Ah, shoot. I missed your comment earlier, Sui, on gaming. Could be back, but this time with any reasonable products. I think GameFi will be really good this run, but I do think For the most part, most GameFi projects are probably still going to be pretty garbage. You know, I think, you know, the next Call of Duty is not going to be GameFi, right? And that's what people are going to play. Fortnite is not going to be GameFi yet, and that's what people want to play. Minecraft, no. So for the most part, I think GameFi will run hard and then eventually look like pump and dumps again, like Jewel. I think it's just going to not be that exciting once the exuberance on crypto dies down. But I do think there will be some really good runs in GameFi and a handful that will stick around. Like if you think of any of the big GameFi projects from last cycle, nobody was playing those games during the bear market, right? They just weren't great games. This cycle, I think there will still be games that get play through the next bear market because they'll be fun, profitable, and they won't just rely on the token price. My cat is going crazy at the door. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on that. You have an opinion on SMH? Not a super deep opinion. I like these new proof of work projects, right? They remind me of like the 2017 days where everything was about proof of work and the new utilizations of that. I just like the tech. I think it's cool. I tried to watch the explanations of their tech. It's a bit over my head, honestly. Like the really detailed stuff about how it works. It's a bit over my head. I don't feel the need to go deep into understanding it to be bullish on it, you know? So I think long-term, that's going to be a good one. I'm not expecting anything crazy in the next week or month, but I think in the coming year, SMH, Factorn, Cubic, you know, stuff like that, I think is going to have a really good time. There are people that will revert back to that proof of work style investments because, you know, it's all just kind of BS stuff now, you know, staking, revenue share, right? Real yield, like, bleh. You know, it just kind of gets stale after a while. Guys, I got this new project. They're doing revenue share. Wow, they're going to share 20 cents with me. Let's go. Like, it just gets a little bit overdone, you know? And guess what, guys? Guess what they're going to have? A Telegram bot. Can you believe it? A bot on Telegram. You can use it on your phone. Whoa, you know, it's just like, and it's AI. Whoa. Eventually, a big group of people are going to get tired of that. And they're going to want to revert to like actual cool technological developments, like, you know, these new proof of work mechanisms, which again, a bit over my head. I can understand it enough to see that it's, you know, an impressive development over regular proof of work. But outside of that, you know, that's kind of where I can see that it's big enough to maybe be a big thing. I didn't put 10% of my account in it, but, you know, a percent or two here or there in a couple projects, those go 10 or 20x, you know, I can make 50% plus on my account. They go to zero, I lose, you know, 3 or 4% of my account. It's not a big deal, right? That's how I like to do things, you know, and it excites me. When the tech actually excites me, that's when I get that night. It itches that scratch. That's when, like, you know what? I'll sell some Blockbank to get some of this. You know, I'll sell some ATOR to get some of this, right? That's worth it to miss out on some upside to buy something really exciting and cool to me versus, oh, wow, you know, a Telegram bot that trades around news. Whoa, you know, I'm good on that, right? I'm not going to sell no, you know, Blockbank for that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry if I missed it, Hunter. When you get a chance, can you talk about KA? I've actually not got the biggest position in KA anymore. It's one of those ones that, you know, when I really want a new bag, it's kind of on the lower end of the list. And I'm probably selling early. It's probably going to pump hard with GameFi. But I just think the team needs to market a bit more. Like, I think they have a really cool game in the works. You know, all the gameplay I've seen from it, it's got this cute look to it, but it also looks kind of like it'd be fun and have some good skill-based mechanics where you can show off your, you know, your ability and your play style and all that stuff. I just don't think they market it well. And I'm not sure I understand how the token ecosystem is going to work, but I don't know. I'm still a believer in Tropica. It's just one of those ones, you know, I like other stuff more. So I'm less willing to cut that stuff versus Tropica when I want to buy something new. You know what I mean? But I still like it, you know? I mean, I haven't checked out the chart in a while, but I imagine the chart looks probably decent. 70 cents. Yeah, it's It's just sideways for a long while. And look, the liquidity is not there. The interest is not there. And then look, you know, daily volume 4K, $1,500 for the whole day's volume. It's just not there. Then out of nowhere, you know, 50 bands comes in, right? Like I think this is one of my sales here down to like 55 cents. But I think big picture, you know, it's probably all going to be seen as bullish accumulation, you know, something like this, higher, you know, into the bull market. But for me, it's not exciting enough to sell, you know, zero knowledge network instead of this when I want to buy a new bag. You know what I mean? Blockcircle is the place to be. I appreciate that, Machi. I also agree with that. I'm in Blockcircle and can only recommend it to anybody. The only thing I find it difficult to follow every message and be aware of every future small cap that could do a 10x. And you know what? I'll be real. That is not a Blockcircle problem. That is just a crypto problem. Like, there's just always gonna be a dozen coins that are ripping that you can't catch. You know, it just is what it is. The issue, which is not really an issue, is that there's so many people in Blockcircle that are on top of this stuff that they're gonna alert you of it if you can dig through and find the messages. You know, there's just so many people that are actually catching this stuff that, you know, it's just, you know, the messages are there. There's not really a recommendation. You got to have the time, right? You know, you got to know the channels to go through, right? You got to go through market chat, right? If there's threads, you got to check the threads. Go to the threads, scroll all the way up to the top, see what the project is about, right? You know, post questions, see if people that posted the original thread will respond. You know, it's work. It takes time. It's not something you can do for a few minutes a day and expect to catch every 10x, right? If you want to catch every small cap that's going to go crazy in there, you got to commit a lot of time to reading the messages. Even like, you know, for me, I wake up, I go through my DMs. It takes me an hour or maybe a couple hours. I go and I try and go through everything in market chat, and I still miss a lot because it's really hard and it's really time consuming. But if you want to make the best use of Blockcircle, you have to commit a fair amount of time. It's not something you can pick up for 5 minutes a day. I mean, you can, but you're not going to be aware of every future small cap that could do a 10x if you're just looking at Blockcircle Discord 5 minutes a day, right? It's just, there's a lot of people with a lot of useful info, and there's a lot of people with not so useful info. And, you know, it's also hard to know what to filter out and what to pay really close attention to. You know, like when Crypto Hunter posts something, people pay close attention to that, right? When Mushroom posts something, people pay close attention to that. Or Corgle. Like, there's some people that, you know, this guy's talking about something, I'm paying attention. But what about the other 500, you know? Some of those guys people aren't paying attention to are probably banging out 10x's left and right. And some of those guys people are paying attention to are not doing so hot. So it's, you know, it's just tough, right? It's tough to know who to follow. And, you know, some guy might join Blockcircle tomorrow and follow me on a, you know, a trade, and that might be a really bad trade right off the rip. And maybe he'll think, damn, you know, do I really want to follow Crypto Hunter? Nah, I don't think so. And then the next trade I take is going to be a 10x. You know, it's just difficult, right? You know, it's difficult, but it's worthwhile if you give it the time and you stay in it for the long term. Don't give up. Never risk too much on a single trade such that you're going to wipe out, you know, 25 or 50% of your account in one go, right? It's not worth it. Don't feel you'll be overwhelmed with Gigabrains of Blockcircle, because I'm in my first cycle. I don't know charts, how to read charts and the rest, but it's been life-changing. It's, you know, it's only really overwhelming if you let it be, right? You know, if you think you're overwhelmed, you know, don't focus on every channel, right? Don't go into the market chat. Focus on the trades channel and just the threads under the trades channel. Those are the main threads of the coins that I'm invested in. You can go to get help if you have any questions. All the other channels, don't focus on them if you don't need to, and you feel like it's going to be overwhelming. Oh, I see you posted your question again, Suli. I hope I answered that. I didn't look at Strap though. We can definitely check at that. I've heard about that a few times the last couple of weeks. I have a feeling it's going to be up only, though, because most time I finally look at the stuff, it's like up only. Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. There ain't no way. This is not accurate, I'm sure. I must have the wrong chart. Ain't no way this is already $800 million. That looks more like it. Surely this is the accurate one, right? Like $3 million liquidity or $3 million market cap. Good choice, DexTF. Oh, it's over $1 trillion in assets. Well, there you go. Or €1 trillion, whatever. €1 trillion and Domini is what, $25 million, $15 million market cap. This thing can easily run to 100 million plus just by having the name Dutch Bank involved. Do you look at Bitcoin dominance? I don't know. I think Bitcoin dominance is kind of a thing of the past, dudes. Like, we used to look at it to know, like, when Bitcoin dominance tops out, that's when altcoins can run. But right now, altcoins can run for any number of reasons at any time. Like, there's so many coins running right now while Bitcoin dominance is rising. You know, like the whole idea that altcoins only run as a collective, like, group when Bitcoin dominance is falling is not true. Bitcoin dominance will fall. You know, think about this. And here's why I don't really subscribe to the Bitcoin dominance thing. The whole way that works is, you know, Bitcoin's $775 billion. Okay, so for Bitcoin to dominance to lose, you know, what is the whole market is 1.5 trillion. So this is about 50% dominance. So for it to lose 10%, what it's got to, like, you have to have 100 something billion dollars, right? Come out of nowhere, right? You know, so if Ethereum goes up 50% and Bitcoin does not go up 50%, it'll take, you know, a very significant chunk of the market cap, right? Because if this goes up 50%, it'll gain $130 billion. If Bitcoin goes up 5%, it'll gain, I don't know what, 50 million billion or something like that, right? Anyways, this will gain a lot more. But, you know, is that going to happen? Is Bitcoin going to rise a little bit and Ethereum goes up 50%? I don't know. But let's consider this, you know, we could have, if Domini goes up 100x from here, right? It'll go to $1.5 billion. That will not do anything to Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance chart will not have a single blip because this going up $1 billion does nothing to Bitcoin's $800 billion market cap. So Bitcoin dominance doesn't move, but this coin just went 100x. So in theory, you know, you could, and this is from 15 million. Let's say this is 1 million. You could have 100 coins go up 100x from $1 million market cap, and only $10 billion would shift in Bitcoin dominance. That is $10 billion out of 800 billion. Bitcoin dominance will not move. Yet you just had 100 assets go up 100x. Thus, why focus on Bitcoin dominance? You only focus on Bitcoin dominance if you're focused on these assets. Because if these assets go hard, and a lot harder than Bitcoin, then Bitcoin dominance is going down. Because these are the assets that can quickly siphon a lot of dominance from Bitcoin. You know, if BNB goes up 3x tomorrow, that's going to be, you know, $70 billion shift. That's 10% of Bitcoin's market cap. That'll be a 5% Bitcoin dominance drop, you know, or something like that. I don't know. My math might not be perfect, but you guys get the idea, right? Unless you're just trading top 20, I don't think it makes sense to focus on Bitcoin dominance. Unless you just want an idea of, well, yeah, look, Bitcoin dominance is going down. Everything is outpacing Bitcoin. But, you know, if everything's outpacing Bitcoin, you don't need Bitcoin dominance to see that, right? You just see it in the market. Anyways, that's my dominance rant, just because I don't really talk about it much. But yeah, you're welcome, Jens. What do you think about OTK? I think I don't know what that is. Is that this OCT token? Or did you mean 0 TK? Nope, I guess you meant OTK. Oh my gosh. Well, just first off, I don't know what it is. Anything on Solana, guys, if this is what you're talking about, anything on Solana, I don't know what it is. And I don't really have an opinion on it. I think it's up 20x. You know, if you're in, congrats, you know, you made it. Like, definitely have taken your initial and some big profits and then let the rest ride as long as it's making higher lows. But outside of that, I mean, what can you say? What can I say about it, right? The trend looks good. It's making higher highs and higher lows over and over. You know, this is exactly the kind of price action you want to see. And I don't think it's going to stop because there's not really a big blow off top. You know, it kind of just goes, well, other than the first move off of the lows, which, you know, it didn't take much to move it. It's kind of just going like 2 to 3x pulling back, 2 to 3x pulling back. You want to see like a 10x out of nowhere. That's probably going to be the top. Again, assuming you're talking about that. Hopium on 0KN. Yeah, dude, I know. Well, the word on the street is that 0KN is working with Monero. And if you guys know, Monero is the best privacy-esque cryptocurrency in the world. It's a $3 billion market cap, and 0KN is 16 million. So, one, just being involved with Monero is great for this coin. Two, if Monero is working with them in any capacity, they must see something impressive with what Zero Knowledge is doing. Thus that I think it's pretty damn good that they're working together. And the chart speaks for itself. You know, even if you pull back to, you know, somewhere back here, this is a very, very healthy uptrend. You know, and I expect this to continue into the next year. And this is probably close to my biggest bag right now, up there with Creso and Blockbank and ATOR and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, 0KN looks absolutely beautiful. I agree. On-chain stuff doesn't care about dominance. Yeah, on-chain stuff doesn't care about anything. On-chain stuff barely even cares about Bitcoin nowadays. You know, like Bitcoin could nuke to like 30K today, right? Oh, I'm drawing on the wrong chart, sorry. Bitcoin could nuke to 30K today. And what would most stuff do? You know, it would probably do this, right? The same thing. But then Bitcoin could do this. And by the time Bitcoin even leaves the bottom, 0KN has probably already done this. You know, like these on-chain plays catch up so much faster. They'll dump harder. You know, Bitcoin dumps 10%, these will dump 50%, but they will play catch up so much harder that by the time Bitcoin is back to the level it dumped from, these coins are going to be leagues higher if they're of quality. You know, that's the general idea I see, at least, you know. Have you had a look at MUBI already in the stream? I have not, but I'm definitely happy to take a look at that. No, we didn't talk ATOR. I'm gonna do ATOR next because everyone asked for that earlier, and then I'll do MUBI, Creso, and Render, and then if I have time, maybe a couple more. But I don't know how much. I'll go maybe another half hour. But again, at this point, it's been almost 24 hours I've been up. I'm gonna start slurring my words, and I really don't want to make a fool of myself here. So, but you guys already know, for those of you, since this is working on my laptop, whether I fix my PC or not, live streams are back on. So come Wednesday, there will be a private live stream for those of you guys in Blockcircle. And then every Sunday, I'll be back here for a public and a private stream as well. Oh, yeah, and we'll do GUISE as well. I did say I would do GUISE and ZEPHYR. I did not even realize that you were talking about a coin, but we'll hit all of those. I'll make a comment. MUBI, render. Oh, let's do. I know Plaza's patient, so we'll do render at the end there. And then, oops, and then ZEPHYR. So that's the order we're going to go in here. If I can get those done, then, you know, we can look at more. But right now, that's the order we're going to go in. So let's go ahead to ATOR. I know a lot of people are dying to look at this shit show of a chart. So, what are my thoughts on ATOR, a project that wiped out 2 months of gains in 2 or 3 days? Personally, I'm not going to say the chart looks great right now. I really don't think it does. But naturally, no chart is going to look great after this. It's going to take time. And I said that when it happened. This is going to take time to play out. You know, maybe we'll retest near the lows. You know, we might just chop from 50 cents to $1.30 for a while, maybe all the way to the end of the year. But eventually, the doubt, the uncertainty, the aggression, it's going to fizzle out. People are going to get over it. Anyone that wants out has either sold or will sell in the next month or two. But the devs, they're going to keep on deving, right? I think, in all honesty, I think the project is much better off than it was before. You know, the biggest complaint and worry is people think, you know, well, they're not going to be able to, you know, they're not going to be able to tag on the hype that Tor already has. Yeah, well, Tor has kind of screwed themselves growth-wise. You know, it's nice to have potentially millions of users, but Tor has also just proven that they're heavily centralized and basically reliant on money from the government. So that's not a good look. And that's not something that an upcoming decentralized protocol like ATOR wants to be involved with. So I think building out their own decentralized privacy network, kind of like ZeroKN is doing, I think that is a much better route. Will it take more time? Yes. Some people are concerned they won't be able to do it this bull run. Like, guys, this bull run is probably going to go on another like 12 to 18 months. I don't think ATOR is going to have any problem pulling it off in the next 18 months. So I think this project is still going to see very strong price action. Maybe not by the end of this year, but, you know, in the first quarter of next year, I think we're going to break back to above $2 again. And I'm very patient. You know, I did sell a little bit at $1.30 on this bounce. As I said, I probably would if we bounced. I don't remember how much. I think it was like 10% or something of what I bought back at 30 cents. Just because, you know, I didn't TP on the way up, and I probably should have because I was getting a bit euphoric. So I TP'd some here, just a little bit to start covering my initial. And now I'm just chilling. You know, if we push back up towards $1.50, I might TP another 10%. And then if we push back to $2, I might do another 10%. And that'll have me 30% out, initial covered, some profits covered, and then I'll just ride the other 70% to new highs and beyond. That's pretty much my game plan. And if it takes more time, you know, if we do this for a while, so be it. You know, I'm patient. I still believe in the team and what they're developing. I think they have a lot of really strong connections. I have no doubt that since they're not working with Tor anymore, they will likely rebrand to a new name, because having Tor in your name when Tor sucks and you're not involved with them anymore is likely not the move. So they'll have a rebrand. I don't know if they'll have a new chart or if they're just changing the name. I don't really know. I don't know if they're going to do a migration. I think they should migrate, thus that this is the new chart instead of this. You know, you do lose this, which sucks, but maybe losing this is worth it. So, you know, if they have a new chart, it'll be this. So maybe a token migration is a good idea. I'm really not sure, but all in all, you know, I think it's fine. You know, it's still around $1. You know, just a couple months ago, we were hyped when we hit $1. So now we're not, just because it's down 50% from the highs. I don't know. But anyways, ATOR is still feeling very good about it. I don't think it's that great of a near-term investment, but if you're comfortable holding for, you know, a few months, I still think it's going to be worth the hold. So yeah, good project. One of my favorites right now, though, is definitely Creso. And it's also one of the strongest projects in the entire market. And I have the, if you guys don't know, they originally launched and then they had to do a token migration because something happened with their deployer. But this is the original price action, right? And Blockcircle is in from, I don't know if you guys remember, like, it's like 2,000 to 3,000 or something down here. It was really cheap. You know, I had a sick entry. A bunch of other guys got in as well around the same level. So, you know, we're sitting up a cheeky, I don't even know. I think my best buy is up like 30x or something. And then my worst buy is up like 20x. So 20 to 30x. I'm sure there's some guys that were in later, you know, maybe only up 10 or x or something, but we are eating good on Creso and Blockcircle. We are eating good. And I genuinely think this has much higher to go. I'm not going to go super hard into the fundamentals. You know, if you guys want more info on the fundamentals, excuse me, you can check out the threads in Blockcircle. You can ask questions about it there. But, you know, they're doing account abstraction. They're doing ERC-4337. They've got connections with Vitalik. They've got connections with the Ethereum Foundation and, you know, Genesis block guys. They've got big connections. They've got huge funding. I don't know what the taxes are like. Oh, there's no taxes. So clearly these guys have good funding, because if they didn't have good funding, they would likely have taxes to help fund their project. I hate when projects do that. The contract is renounced. Liquidity is locked. You know, everything's looking good for this, right? There's a lot more buys than sells. There's a lot more buyers than sellers. The liquidity is pretty decent. I think it could be a little bit better, but, you know, it's good enough. And the chart just speaks for itself, honestly. I mean, it's just strength on strength on strength. This is very quickly becoming one of my biggest bags, probably soon to be my biggest bag, and easily one of my favorites. So I'm feeling extremely good about Creso. Nothing but good things to say about it. I've had wonderful conversations with the team for the most part. You know, I'm not going to say they're my favorite team ever by any means. They're a little bit iffy on the communication sometimes, but for the most part, very impressed with them. So yeah, pretty much nothing but good things to say about them. Can you take a look at MC? Recently changed a 1 of 100 something. News. Oh, Merit Circle is Beam now. Interesting. Assuming that's what MC is still. It's a privacy project. Okay, I mean, I'll check out Beam if I have time at the other ones. They raised $112 million. Holy shit. That's crazy. Yeah, Cree is so chat, dude. Riding at 14x. Let's go. 12x for Plaza. Hype. What would be your ideal first area to TP on Creso? Honestly, 50 million was like my first go-to, and we're getting close, but I don't know, man. Like, you know, because there's always the risk that you don't TP like I did on ATOR, right? You don't TP because you're so confident, and then it crumbles back down. You're, I knew I should have TP'd. And then you're TPing for less. That's the risk. But at the same time, you know, I don't really regret not TPing that hard. You know, if I had TP'd on the way up, where would I probably have TP'd? You know, $1.20, $1.30, $1.40, something like that. Well, after the puke, we got a bounce, and I pretty much got my TP around that level. You know, I probably wouldn't have had my first TP at $2, right? It probably would have been somewhere in here. So, you know, even if this goes up and gets crushed, the first bounce off the lows, probably get a chance to TP that bounce if I need to. So I'm kind of just trying to hold out. I don't really see anyone going crazy about this. You know, I think the play is maybe wait for the first launch of their product, and maybe that's the time to take the first, you know, the first take profit. I don't think a specific market cap is really the move. I think the catalyst based take profit is probably the better choice for this. But, you know, just transparency's sake, I believe it was 25 to 50 mil was my first take profit. Because, you know, I think I was in from like $1 million or something, 1 to 2 million. So, you know, a 10 or 20x at that point, yeah, you know, I was looking to take profit here. But at this point, you know, I'm willing to suffer 50% drawdown or whatever, if that's what happens, to get more upside on a larger percentage of my bag. Simple as that. I'm willing to risk the open profits for more upside than I currently have. And some people shouldn't do that. Some of y'all should probably just take your initials. Some of you guys already have taken your initials and are riding the free bag. Some of you guys have taken initials and extra profits and you're just riding moon bags. I think every one of those is a fine choice. You know, not everyone needs to risk the whole bag like me. Not everyone needs to take 80% off. Some people take 30 or 50 or 20 or 10 or whatever. Some people are 90% out. It's great. You know, it's a free bag. You made great money. That's fine. Move on. You don't got to marry it. Just depends on what works out for you. You know, I think everything's fine as long as it fits your playbook. But for me, I haven't sold any. I don't really want to sell any anytime soon unless there's a big catalyst that pushes this like 3 to 5x in a day. You know, like this, right? What is this? Like 2x or something? You know, a 2x from 15 to 3,000. And then, you know, a 2x from 2,500 to 5,000. So, you know, if we go from 5,000 to like 20,000 in a short period of time, yeah, I mean, I'll probably take some pretty big profits like that. But if we just keep kind of stair-stepping, you know, I want a blow-off top to signify that this is going to be toast. You know, if it just does this for a while, I don't think that's a top. I think a top is going to be, you know, something like this in a short period of time. So for now, I'm just holding. I think the project is very high quality. Clearly, they have connections. And Blockcircle gang's up big, and I love that for you guys. So I'm happy to keep it heavy. All right. Next up, I listed MUBI, but I definitely saw ZEPHYR in the comment section a lot earlier, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that one. Because someone's asked about that several times, and I didn't. Oh, well, I hate to disappoint, but if it's Sol ecosystem, assuming this is what you're talking about, I don't know jack about it. You know, if there's no info here either. Assuming this is what you're talking about on Solana, you know, what's there to know? It launched with 200,000 volume. It went up a bajillion X. Like literally a bajillion X. I don't know if that's legitimate or not. And now it's this. There's no way this is it. This is $700 market cap. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing with that one. Sorry. Next up was MUBI, though. We will look at MUBI. Oh, okay. On TradingView. Gotcha. Good looks. It's a proof of work. Oh, don't do it to me, brother. I can't do it. Oh my gosh. Look at this thing. $2 to $50. I mean, if you're in, congrats. You won. You know, there's nothing to be said about this at this point, right? If you're in, you already won. You know, is this the right one? Yeah. You know, you rode this from $1 to $50. You know, I would probably have taken 75 to 80% off and then just, you know, keep riding the moon bag. You know, as long as this thing keeps making higher lows, you know, I don't think you cut it all at any point, right? Like for now, this is your last big move. You know, so as long as you make a higher low into the end of the year here, or even if it takes a little bit longer, this probably continues higher. You know, so you can be out most of your size on a move like this. Maybe you add back, maybe you don't, and then you just, you keep trailing out, you know, maybe the bull market goes into mid 2025, and then maybe you get a blow off top, and then it gets cut, you know, and then maybe that's when you cut your last piece. This is just some shitty drawing, but that's the general idea, right? You want to keep a portion for the long term, but for the most part, you know, if you're in this from the lows, you know, even just from the trend flip, you could be banging out a 10x already, you know. That's good gains, you know. But for the most part, you know, what do you want me to say, right? It's up from $2 to $50 in 2 months. It's a big dub. I'm sure I would love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I would love the coin, but I've already got 2 coins of a similar narrative with SMH and Factorn. I'm not going to overexpose. You know, if this is the one that goes to the hardest, well, you know, I'm okay with missing out on it. Because I've already got enough of this narrative. I don't need to overexpose. And I'm definitely not buying from $2 to $50, you know. If this comes back to $6, count me in. But if not, you know, I'm happy to just cheer for those that are in it on the sideline. But I would love it, I'm sure. Can you check out pepecoin? Well, let me tell you what. My relatively normie girlfriend was telling me about pepecoin. So there's a good chance that one's topped out for a while. I mean, again, this is another one, like, you know, in 1, 2, 3 days, it's gone up 900%. You know, like, what is there to look at, right? You know, it's exploded. You know, are you asking me, do you buy? Do you take profit? I mean, you probably don't buy. You know, maybe, yeah, you probably take some profit as this looks kind of a bit rough. But, you know, I would not, just like the other one, I would not sell everything as long as this uptrend that's going on remains. You know, if you can hold here, probably worth keeping some. If you start to lose these higher lows, though, you might want to cut it. But for the most part, it's hard to offer advice on stuff that's gone up, you know, 10x in 3 days. Right? You know, this went from 2 cents to 23 cents since the start of December 2 days ago. So there's not much I can say for it, right? You know, Doctor Who sold 80% at 25. Chad, dude, that's a great trade. Who cares that it went to 50? Who cares if it goes to 500, right? You captured the meat of this move. That's more than most people can say, honestly. So big ups to you, brother. I would not look back at all on that 80%. Let the 20% ride. You know, if it goes to 100, maybe take some more off. If it goes to 250 after that, take some more, right? You know, just simple as that. Absolutely great. All right, I got sidetracked by pepecoin since my girlfriend looked at it recently, and I wanted to look at it. But next up was MUBI, I believe, and I do believe that is a DEX screener coin. People have been trying to get me in this one since day one. I'm sure I middle curved and it's going up crazy, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I was told about this like on the first couple of 1 hour candles back down here. So it looks like, oh, I only missed out on like 600%. That's not that bad. I heard pepecoin did that in like 2 days. Crap up. But I mean, yeah, chart looks really good. This is kind of giving me like that Cree energy where it hasn't gone, it's not going like 10x in a day, you know, it's going from 2 cents to 4 cents, you know. If it consolidates like this, very healthy. If it goes, you know, straight up to 10 cents from here, you probably want to take some profits heavily, you know. But if it keeps stair-stepping its way up, you know, like this, you know, up a little bit, sideways, up, a little bit of sideways, up, a little bit of sideways, that's very healthy. I would not be in a rush to take profit. Now, as far as the, oh, yeah, this is the bridge for, yeah. See, this is tricky because this could be a big first mover, right? Because right now, at least as far as I know, bridging from BRC20 to ERC20 requires Binance access, I think, right? There might be other exchanges that do it, maybe Coinbase, but I know from my experience, the only way to get access to BRC20 was routing through Binance. So having a bridge that can do that on DeFi could be extremely valuable, as well as, you know, just in general, increasing liquidity for BRC20 tokens. So this could be big. You know, this is a big potential first mover advantage. I think this is probably something worthwhile. I'm not saying I'm going to buy it, you know, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Again, it's not like I'm willing to sell any of my bags for this, but I do think it's a really strong narrative. It's very liquid, so you can easily get a thick position and then cut it if it starts to look bad. And I would say anything below 2 cents starts to look pretty bad. But for now, this looks really solid, you know, and I think pullbacks towards, you know, mid twos is probably a good buy. Honestly, if this came back to low twos, I would probably be willing to pick some up. I think the BRC20 narrative is probably going to go hard, especially with stacks starting to pick up again. I think this is one of the better charts in crypto on the monthly. You know, it had one of the strongest starts in 2023 and then kind of fizzled out. And now it's making that higher low on the monthly cycle. This has one of the best monthly cycles in crypto. I will say that. Like most monthly cycles look like Bitcoin, where they came up, they came kind of halfway down, and then they're turning back up, but they're already kind of high. Versus stacks came pretty much all the way back down and is barely even halfway up. So this is likely going to have a good run into Q1, maybe even Q2 of 2024. So I think stacks is actually one of the best investments in, you know, high cap crypto. And in general, it's just simple, right? People missed out on Ethereum DeFi early. They're going to say, yo, bro, trust me. Now Bitcoin's doing DeFi. You got to get on the ground floor. Nobody's looking at this yet. So, you know, and I don't know. It's probably a pretty good narrative to be involved in. I don't know if it's going to be the best, and I'm not positive it'll take off, but I have some BRC stuff. You know, I have some ordinals or whatever that I bought, inscriptions, whatever it is, that crap I bought on there a while ago, you know. Not much exposure, just a little bit. I have a little bit of stacks across some old wallets, but it's nothing crazy. But I do think it's the BRC20 trend in general is pretty good, so MUBI is probably going to be pretty good. Next up, guys, man, and guys, I got to say, it's been disappointing to say the least. I mean, the price action is just horrible. I mean, when I got in, you know, it was showing so much promise. It was such a positive narrative. And then, you know, ever since it lost this like 4-hour uptrend it had, it's just been nothing but pain and lower highs from 50 cents all the way down to where it is now at 6. So, you know, I doubled down back here at like 8 to 10 cents, and I don't know, man. I mean, it's tough because, you know, I know the dev behind this is of the utmost quality, but I don't know if he's moving on to other projects or if he's just really silently deving this, but, you know, there's truly not much interest, and the people who own this coin just don't care. They will just dump it to zero, man. I mean, look at this. We went down to 5 cents. Like, what are you dumping for? You know, $1,000? Like, it's not that $1,000 is not a lot of money, but I mean, it's people that bought for 10 grand are dumping now for $1,000. Like, it's mind blowing. I mean, power to you. I've been there. I've bought stuff high, sold it low to buy other stuff to make my money back, but I don't know. It just like, I still got this feeling that this goes on a crazy run someday. So I can't bring myself to sell it. If word ever gets out who the dev is and he doesn't abandon it, this could go like 20x in a single candle, I feel like. So I'm sticking with it. I don't know that I would recommend anybody touch it, but I can't bring myself to get rid of it. So anyways, next up is Render. Another one of the best looking coins in the market, like up there with Injective, up there with Thor. Like, it just looks beautiful. You know, it's basically painting the same path as BTC. You know, BTC pulled back from July to August, bottomed in August, and is now running to new highs. Render's doing the same thing. You know, if Bitcoin goes to 40K plus, Render's going to keep going. If Bitcoin pulls back to 30K, it's going to keep going. You know, it's basically just a nice leveraged bet on Bitcoin. That's how I see it, at least. You know, it's got extremely similar price action. It's not looking stupid exuberant yet. You know, it's not going 5x in a single candle. Like, I think there's a good chance this one's going to run hard into 2024. So I wouldn't be, you know, super in a rush to be, you know, taking profits on this one. But, you know, if you're just swing trading it, if you're in for the long term, you know, I think you just trail out with higher lows as long as you can last. But if you're kind of doing the same idea, you know, on the daily, you know, and you were trading this new trend, right? This is your downtrend here, something like that. If you're trading this new trend of higher highs and higher lows, you probably trail out your stops with these pivots here. You know, maybe you can take some profits if you're in from the twos. Maybe you take some into the upper threes, low fours, and then just, you know, keep the same idea as that weekly, right? As you keep making higher lows and higher highs, you keep raising your pivot, right, with each higher low. And then when you lose those higher lows, that's when you cut the rest of the bag. Unless you want to keep a piece with, you know, the big picture higher lows, maybe you keep a little piece for that. But if you're just swing trading this around, yeah, you don't want to be involved when your higher lows, your market structure breaks, okay? All right, that's the rest of the coins I said I would look at. I mean, I might have time for one or two more, but I'm like legit struggling to keep my eyes open. I know a few people have mentioned MTE, and I still hold that one. It's kind of in the same bucket as guys. Like I cannot bring myself to sell it, knowing the devs that are involved, and I genuinely feel like at some point it's going to go on a monster run. I can't bring myself to sell it. But unlike guys, I'm in this one from super low with Blockcircle, so it's kind of in my interest to just see if I can let it ride. You know, if it goes back to my entry, it's probably dead. So either it dies or it's gonna make good money someday. And I tried that on PoFi recently and I got rugged, but my entry risk was so low that, you know, I've kind of come to terms with it at this point, right? If I get rugged from my July entry in December, so be it. It wasn't meant to be. But it's probably still one of my top 5 privacy coins, potential wise. I still think these guys know what they're doing. I don't think they're the best marketers, but I think they know what they're doing. Not the normal meme coin. Honestly, my hit rate with meme coins is just so bad. Like if I buy pepecoin, it's toast, dude. Just trust. Like, I don't know. I just can't seem to do well with meme coins. My timing is just never right. So I try to avoid them. You know, I'm not doing anything, saying anything against them. It's just not my forte. I don't have a great read on them. I struggle to find where the value lies because there's not real value outside of the community and the hype. So it's hard for me to evaluate where I think there's a decent chance of it stopping. You know, it could be $10 million just as easily as it could be 500 million. It's the same exact value, you know, so I just don't know. So it's just not something I'm really going to get involved in, but I appreciate the shout. And I hope it works out well for you. If you're in early, big ups to you, dude, because that's a crazy run. See, how many more do we got? We got Palm, and I'm thinking Palm and GFY, and that's where I'm going to call it. Those are the last 2 guys. So, you know, if you go, please, can you do this one too? No. If you DM me and you're in Blockcircle, I can do it. But Palm and GFY, I'm going to call it there after those 2 because it's been over 24 hours now. I'm beat. I feel like I'm getting drunk. So we're going to do those 2 real quick and then we'll call it. All right. I'm assuming that is, yeah, this is the right one. It looks like it. Okay, nice 20x the last couple of weeks. Chart looks pretty decent. You know, any kind of reaccumulation going on in this general region looks pretty good. If you start to lose 3 cents, then it looks kind of toast. Oh, we actually have a website. Is this supposed to be better or like more impressive than ChatGPT? And it looks like the token has no use case. Which again, token use case does not historically matter. I mean, look at some of the biggest assets in crypto. Cardano, XRP, you know, Polkadot went crazy. Those tokens had no use case, but they went nuts. So I'm not saying you have to have one, but in general, I prefer it to have one. You know, Pepe has no utility, but it goes crazy. So not the kind of play for me, but I will say it's got decent liquidity for its market cap. Clearly, there's a lot of interest in it. I'm just not sure. I'm not really sold on it. You know, like I don't see it. And I'm like, damn, you know, I could easily sell any of my bags for this one. Like, I don't even think I'd sell some of my weaker bags for this one. It doesn't really hype me up, you know. But it's not. I haven't done in-depth research, so I'm not gonna say it's, you know, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It just doesn't really wow me. Like, isn't it not just Chat GPT with a token that has no use case? But that's just, you know, that's just my opinion. It's a good project, actually. Yeah, no, I don't doubt it. Again, like that's probably what I would feel about PAAL. You know, that's why I missed. What the heck? Did it get rugged? Oh no, here it is. That's why I missed the majority of this PAAL run. You know, I was in PAAL super early, like back here in the 4s, and I sold out most of mine in the 4s, I think. You know, it's still a great run, but I sold out the most of it, and I forgot to rebuy it when the new trend emerged, and I missed out on the sick, you know, 10 or 20x run or something. So, and you know, this is valued at 100 million. Is it worth 100 million? It's an advanced chatbot built on blah, 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 blah. Like, but doesn't that already exist? See, but this has profit sharing, you know, buybacks. It at least has, you know, you can use the token to do stuff with it. It's not just, oh, it just supports us, you know. And does that matter? Not necessarily, but at least here, you know, you got governance, you can stake it, you get premium features, you know, profit sharing, all kinds of stuff. Like that's a better use case. That's a reason to not just buy the token, but that's a reason to not sell it, right? And that's big, right? You want to have holders with conviction and a reason to hold it. You don't need it, but it definitely helps. And if this exists, does this need to? Not that there's not room for competition, but anyways, like you might just be better off holding PAAL. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not hating on it. It's just not for me, right? Doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not the end all be all by any means. It's just not for me. If I had a ton of free cash, you know, I'd throw some in this. But if I have to sell a bag I like a lot for Palm, I just, might have to pass. Been in render for 40 cents. I mean, yeah, you're chatting it up, dude. With that entry, dude, I would just, you know, just ride the waves until Bitcoin's like 80 to 100K, dude. Just ride the waves. With the way you're looking at it, yeah. Late to the party today, but if not already mentioned, any thoughts on USA? Was that one of the Blockcircle ones? I saw some people are up like 20x on some pre-sale on Blockcircle. I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it. But I don't know what to do. I mean, we can check that chart, I guess. But wait, are you in Blockcircle? That's the question. If you're in Blockcircle, maybe. Kind of beat, dude. What did I say? Oh no, but I did say I'd do GFY, and you posted that before, so I guess I can include that one too. Binance was so funny. Yeah, see, I never figured out what Binance was. Isn't just like a Binance meme coin? Does that have a chart? I've been hearing about that. I didn't realize that was is that a coin? Oh shit. Is this it? Oh, it's dead. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, that's true. You did say beam from above. That is fair. That's fair. I'm assuming it's this one, the most liquidity. I mean, the chart is beautiful. These are my favorite kind of charts. This is like Bitcoin, dude. You know, it's like, oh shit, we're 180 bucks from 40,000, guys. That's so cool. We have not hit, these prices have not been seen since April 2022, guys. What is that, like 18 months? 20 or something? That's like 20 months. It's crazy. Wow. But anyways, like, you know, let's go look at something that blew off in the bull market. You know, what does a blow off top look like? It looks like this. You know, it doesn't look like this. You know, in my experience, personally, I think there's plenty of privacy projects that are at a better valuation risk reward wise than 500 million. It's a lot easier to get from a few $1 million to $1 billion than it is to get from like 500 million to like 10 billion or 50 billion. So personally, I just think I'd rather ape low cap privacy projects versus these really high cap ones. But you know, if you're looking to compete with something like Monero, you know, you've got 7 or 8x growth to that level. So, and in general, this chart looks really good. You know, it's not just like this. It's like stair stepping. You know, it's really healthy price action. You know, even if this comes back here, it probably just makes a higher low and continues. I think the chart looks really good, dude. Extremely healthy. Tons of volume. Liquidity is not great, you know, but this is probably on centralized exchanges too. So it's probably fine to have 6 million in DeFi. Let's see if we have more history. I don't imagine. Is it BeamX, I guess? Yeah. I guess we don't have the previous chart's price history. Okay, it's not Merit Circle. I had that completely wrong earlier. Merit Circle also looks cracked. But anyways, chart looks fantastic, dude. Like, I think, I mean, again, if you're in this one, you know, I don't know where you're in from, but you know, this looks clean, you know, like this doesn't look like something that's just gonna top out. As long as you can continue this like 4-hour trend here, you know, I think this is good. Maybe you can trail out here, but I think it's a bit loose. I think your trailing stop has got to be like somewhere down here if you even want to use one. I mean, this just looks really healthy. Yeah, but is it a different MC or is this Merit Circle? That's the question, right? It is? Oh. Oh, I see. A buck 27, and this is a penny 24. Oh, yeah, you did say that they did like a 100 to 1 or something. Okay. Why is this still trading? There's people still trading this. I guess they sucked liquidity out though. There's like no volume. Okay, wait, no, but I do want to go back. Let's see then. So it's up 10x, right? Or no, not quite. It's up like 6x this year, 7x, something like that. It's not bad. I mean, consider where it came from, right? If in theory, then it came from what? I guess what would be 7 to 8 cents. Oopsies. So in theory, your upside is like up here. And if you subscribe, I mean, not in this short period of time, probably, but you know, maybe like in the following months. And if you subscribe to the idea that this project is better now than it was in 2021, 2022, which is kind of how I feel about like BBANK and other stuff, then in theory, maybe this goes even further, you know, 10, 20 cents. But, you know, I'll just say the chart as it is now looks beautiful. And even on the merit circle chart, you know, I don't feel like this looks super blow-offy. You know, it's just like these healthy, you know, nice little pop, sideways, nice little pop, upwards accumulation, nice pop, pullback, nice pop, pullback, nice pop, probably pullback. Looks really solid, dude. I mean, I think that's, you know, that's really solid. Oh, Janet Yellen. Oh, she memed about it. Okay, okay. USA, that was the one in Blockcircle. Damn, you tagged me in the thread, dude. I just can't keep up, man. I get like, there's just, you know, I log into Blockcircle when I wake up and like every channel has me added in it. And it's like, shit, like, you know, I'll check on one thing and it's just so hard to keep up, dude. You know, I'm like, it used to be I could read through Blockcircle in like 5 minutes in the morning. And now I'm like, I'm just struggling to keep up with everything. But I'm not bitter at all. I'm stoked for you guys. Is that a liquid 20x? I should at least look at the chart since you did ask that, and then we'll do GFY, and I'm going to get out of here. This is the only one with liquidity, so I'm guessing this is it. Damn, I should have at least sniped the launch. Could have sniped the launch for like $1 probably. I'm guessing it's not fully liquid. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, Tony. No problem. Yeah, I don't know if you're still in here, Whack-A-Mobile. I'll check out the thread. Colger was messaging me about it too. I mean, that's super hype. I'm stoked for you guys. Like that's awesome. And then are you still here, Doctor Who? If so, I'll do GFY. You have a massive bag of Merit Circle or Beam? Well, see, you know about the fundamentals. I am not familiar with the fundamentals that much, so it's hard to say. It just depends, you know. I would maybe look to TP around key catalysts. You know, if they have a product going live or some big launch of some sort or some big, I don't even know. You know, something that gives reason to take profits even for a set period of time. Or if you're like me, maybe you just want to wait for that point in the market cycle where Bitcoin is so exuberant that everything's ripping. Keep in mind that could be many months away, but you know, maybe you want to TP some when Bitcoin's up here before it maybe goes here and then goes here. Or maybe you just want to wait for here and just, you know, kind of ride the waves. It just depends on you. Last call, Doctor Who. If you're here, we'll do GFY. If not, I'm going to do RLB. And then I'm going to call it. We'll give you 1 more minute, my guy. I'm about to piss myself too. Oh my gosh. Waiting for 2 years, bro. That's a lot of patience. Hey, man, why give up now? If you waited 2 years, you know, what's another 6 months to see, or 6, 12 months? See if we can make new highs on Bitcoin. If we do, it's going to go so much harder. Like, no doubt in my mind. If it's of any quality, it'll go so much harder. All right, Dr. Who, your time is up. We are going to look at Rollbit as our last coin of the day. Excuse me. And then I'm going to get out of here because I am physically and mentally exhausted. We're going to do DeFi. 5 months, 5 days. I guess that's the best we got. I mean, yeah, chart still looks decent to me. 61.8 hold, I imagine. Yep. Perfect hold right at the 61.8. I would say in general, you probably don't want to see this back below like 10 cents. You know, I think it makes, you know, if you're in, I don't think you cut unless you really break 10 cents. It depends on how you're playing it. If you're playing it near term, you probably wanted to cut when we broke like 20. You know, this was kind of your little near term uptrend going on, right? And when you broke down here, you lost it. But if you're in more of the, you know, the kind of big picture swings, I wouldn't want to sell unless you break like 10 cents, which means this is likely a pretty good dip to be averaging in. So it just depends on how you're playing it. I think in general, the casino gamble-fi narrative is one of my favorites, and RLB is clearly the king of it for now. So if you're just looking for some sort of exposure to this casino narrative, yo guys, we are, sorry to interrupt my own comments, but we're doing it. 39,912, 39,916. Come on, baby, give me 40K for the stream. Who is the, almost said it, who's the baby? Sorry, I'm gonna say some worse things. Selling before 40K. Come on. Anyways, if you're just looking for exposure to GambleFi, this is the way. You know, there's probably low caps that'll outpace it dramatically, but there's probably a lot that won't. So if you just want a safe bet on the casino narrative, this is the one. You know, maybe build an average into 10 cents. If you lose 10 cents, maybe get the heck out. But in general, I think it looks really solid. All right, that's the last altcoin I'm going to look at for now. Let's just enjoy this candle, guys. 39,950, 39,960. Come on, baby, we can do it. Everyone in chat, come on, raise your spirits. I'm going to make a few calls. I know a guy. Come on. Hey, Bachelor, you there? Yeah, I said I know a guy, but can you just buy like 10 million? Oh, he's doing it. Come on, 39,980. Bachelor, buy more. Obviously, this is complete jokes, guys. I'm completely joking around. You lawyers out there trying to get on my ass, it's a joke, okay? It's just a joke. Not for real. I would love to see 40K for this stream, but it probably won't happen. Playing since 2 cents, damn! Trying to rotate somewhere else. Well, it depends. You know, are you trying to rotate somewhere else in the casino narrative, or are you just trying to rotate to other coins? Ah, what a scam. Because if you're trying to rotate to other casino narratives, I don't know. I find often you might just be better off staying in the big winner. But if you're trying to rotate to other narratives, I mean, there's a bajillion narratives going on right now in crypto. I mean, there's definitely plenty of stuff to rotate to. Come on, we're gonna go to the 1 second chart. Actually, this is where the action's at. Let's go to, let's have the best liquidity. Probably Binance. This is where the real degens hang out on the 1 second chart. How close did we get? We got $11, $10 away at the peak. Oh, here comes Basil. Look at ETH 2200. Is ETH finally outpacing Bitcoin a little bit? What does 2200 mean? Is that new highs? Is that new local highs finally? It is. That's the highest price since May 2022. ETH has kind of been garbage lately, but maybe is this ETH BTC? No, this is ETH BTC. ETH BTC still looks pretty garbage, but I could see the lows being front run. The cycles are there for ETH BTC, honestly. This is the kind of candle you see at the end of an exhausted trend. Like, this is people just puking the shit out of this. I mean, this could really be the bottom for ETH. I would not be one bit surprised. Everyone says it's like the worst asset ever. Even I was starting to believe it. Come on, baby. Not that I really care. Nothing changes for me if we hit 40K BTC, but just like nothing changes if we hit 35K, but it will be hype before ending the stream, you know? Pepe follows F. That's right. And what follows Pepe? My bags. Basso, let's go. Come on. All right, if we lose 39.8 though, we're gonna shut stream down. I can't do it indefinitely. I'm about to legit piss my pants. Everyone buy $5 for entertainment purposes, but it's not financial advice. I'm not responsible for that. And it's clearly a joke. Other bags, too much good shit going on. I feel that, dude. I mean, that's why I'm not in Bitcoin. There's just too much good stuff to be in. And this is honestly the hardest cycle to pick and choose. Usually it's just like which garbage ICO am I buying, you know, which piece of crap am I buying that I don't care about. Now it's like real utility. And you know, most of the utility probably won't mean jack crap in, you know, a year or two, but for now it feels like there's real utility and real value and potential for some of this stuff, you know? So it's definitely the hardest cycle to like choose which coins to buy and which ones to let go. No, like I really feel that. Oh, Bassel's given up. He used the last of his clip. He used his college fund. The Bassel kids' college fund has run dry. Let's check out Creso. It seems like Creso's doing pretty good. Do I still have the old Creso on my phone? I have 805K liquidity. Which Creso? Do I have the old Creso? No, I don't. It just isn't loading right. Okay. This is my favorite chart in crypto right now. This is gonna be so much fun. Another 24-hour bro live stream. Yeah, no shot, dude. I went out shopping with my girlfriend today too, so you know that's like double time on the drainage meter. All right, I spent hours looking for a couch, and I am spent. Always the most authentic and straightforward. I try to be. I try to make the stream educational, entertaining, because I know it can be difficult to watch someone just talk about crypto for hours. Like, it's not like you're watching me play video games or something, you know? So it actually means a great deal to me that so many people are interested in somehow listening to me talk for 2 hours. Like, I don't know. It blows my mind. While we're wrapping up here, the last thing I got to do, which should have been the first thing I did, but I was too nervous about streaming on this new platform that I forgot. But I got to give all the glory to God. Thank you so much, Jesus. Without you, none of this is possible. I would not be here. I would not be living such a wonderful life. So thank you for so many blessings. Thank you for all the wonderful people in this stream right now. I love you so much. I appreciate you so much. And, you know, thank you for being with me and giving me such a great opportunity to help as many people as possible. I'm here to change lives the way you changed lives. I guess that's all I got to say, but thank you so much, Jesus. And thank you so much to you guys. Really, I mean, I streamed when I had 2 viewers. I streamed weekly for months with no viewers, and it was great. And I love even more streaming with 30, 20, 10, 50 viewers, whatever it is. I mean, it's just a blessing. So thank you to you guys for being here. I mean, you know, hats off to you guys. I'm going to try and be here every week. I'm going to try and start doing the public stream every week, but really, this is kind of a special occasion for the public stream, guys. This is a very long stream. Typically, what we just did is what the Blockcircle private stream is, okay? It's, you know, usually an hour or two. I'll look at anything in the chat. I'll look at all my coins. I'll look at what we recently bought. And after that, I'm going to do like a 30-minute public stream, okay? Because I only have so much time on Sundays. So I got to give my priority to the Blockcircle guys. And then, you know, kind of my leftovers I can give to the public stream. So if you really want streams and more content like this, you're going to have to join us in Blockcircle, right? And then we also do a private stream on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So Sundays is 3 p.m. Eastern time. And Wednesday is 10 a.m. to try and kind of accommodate, you know, different time zones in Asia. And, you know, maybe later on in the cycle, as we grow more and more, I might add a third stream at like, I don't know, 8 p.m. or, you know, 6 a.m. or something. You know, it just depends on how many people from each time zone we have. But how does one join? I don't know if Basil's watching for the link, but if not, I can get it here again. Here we go. Link is right here for you guys. Anyone that wants to join, we would love to have you. Again, once upon a time, most of the value in there was me, but that is not the case anymore. The other people that are in there are working their asses off, and they're making honestly a lot greater returns than me, as you saw in this chat. I mean, a bunch of guys banging out a 20x, and I didn't even know about it. And that's just, I mean, that's really just the start. So love to have you guys in there. You know, last shout out to Jesus. Thank you so much. Thank you to you guys. So for those of you in Blockcircle, I will see you guys on Wednesday. And of course, I'm in the chat. As you guys know, I've been up 24 hours. So if you guys ever have any problem, feel free to reach out to me, you know, on Discord, on Twitter, wherever you can in Blockcircle. Just keep in mind, I'll never ask you guys for anything, for money, for passwords, for information. If anyone does, do not give it to them. Obviously, you know, we're all smart here, shouldn't need to be said, but I will never ask you for that stuff. So if someone does try and, you know, pretend to be me, tell them to piss off, right? I'm not about that. So, and if you ever question, guys, on Discord, I'm the only one with the actual Crypto Hunter username. It's just all lowercase, one word, Crypto Hunter. If you click on my profile on Discord, it's just Crypto Hunter, right? Discord member since September 25th, 2015. I'm the only one. All right, so anyways, much love to you guys. I will catch you in the next stream or on Twitter, Discord, whatever it may be. So yeah, thanks so much. Peace out, guys.